Betting odds indicate that 95% of you who are watching this video think that Floyd Mayweather is going to beat Logan Paul on June 6th. If this is the case, you are very justified in that belief. However, before you go bet the house, give this video a watch. Sunday, June 6th, 2021, in Miami Gardens, Florida, Floyd Mayweather will enter the ring with Logan Paul. Floyd Mayweather is an undefeated boxer with a record of 50-0, beating champions like Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo Alvarez. Logan Paul, on the other hand, is a once-defeated boxer with a record of 0-1, losing via split decision against YouTuber and musician KSI. Most people look at that record and say, reasonably, Logan has no chance. How could anyone possibly think that Logan Paul is going to win? Well, let's talk about it. And this is, in my opinion, the single best argument for the Logan Paul win. Logan Paul does not need to outbox Floyd Mayweather in order to beat him. That statement alone, while sounding a little strange, actually shouldn't be controversial. Logan Paul does not need to be a more skillful boxer than Floyd Mayweather in order to beat him. This, of course, is because of Logan's physical advantages: his weight, his power, his reach, and his height. Currently, professional governing bodies recognize a total of 17 different weight divisions in men's boxing. These include heavyweight, middleweight, featherweight, and more. Weight classes exist in order to promote a fight's fairness and to protect a fighter's safety, since a heavier fighter can use his weights to generate a lot more power. You assess a fighter's power by measuring impact, which is the difference between momentum of a fighter's fist right before a punch and the momentum of a fighter's fist right after a punch. And of course, momentum is the product of mass times velocity. Fighters with a larger weight and therefore a larger mass have a lot more impact. Additionally, they can absorb a lot more force without incurring as much harm to the body. As stated on sportscasting.com, quote, "For pro fighters, even a relatively small difference in weight can lead to a huge advantage. Weight classes eliminate this type of disparity, ensuring that skill remains the most important factor in determining the victor." Now to the fight in question. For the Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather weigh-ins, it was established that Floyd Mayweather can weigh a total of 160 pounds, while Logan Paul can weigh a total of 190 pounds. This puts Logan at not one, not two, but nearly 3 weight divisions above Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather has never fought somebody as heavy as Logan Paul. If Logan knows how to utilize his weight, his punches will be powerful. And because of his mass, he will be better able to absorb Floyd's punches. In any professional fight, a 3 weight class difference is massively consequential. But this, of course, is not a professional fight. This is an exhibition, and Logan Paul does not have the instincts, accuracy, and experience of a top-notch cruiserweight boxer. But it is those physical advantages, weight and power, that make this fight interesting. Logan additionally has a 4-inch reach advantage. Reach refers to the total length of a fighter's arms from one fingertip to the other. Logan's reach is 76 inches while Floyd measures at 72. Essentially, this means that going into the fight, there will always be an area around Logan in which Logan can actually reach and hit Floyd, but Floyd can't actually reach back. Logan is clearly aware of this and plans to keep the fight on the outside, where he indeed has the advantage.
Bro, why the would I ever let him in there, bro?
He's gonna get there.
And of course, one of the most visible differences between Logan and Floyd is their respective heights, which by itself isn't going to help Logan that much, but when combined with his heaviness, his power, and his reach, Floyd is going to have a tougher time landing that knockout punch to the head against Logan than with smaller opponents like Conor McGregor. Also, an advantage of a 6'2" guy fighting someone who is 5'8" is that the additional height automatically increases Logan's reach. This, of course, is because, as the Pythagorean theorem states, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Given that Logan's shoulders are basically at the same level as Floyd's head, Logan does not need to extend his punch as far as Floyd does in order to land that headshot. Overall, it isn't Floyd Mayweather who determines who wins this fight. Believe it or not, it's freaking Logan Paul. Because Logan has kept his sparring footage against guys of Floyd's stature hidden, we can't accurately assess Logan's skill level. But if Logan can perform in a manner that is even similar to the top fighters in his division, Floyd is seriously going to have some problems. There is only so much that a middleweight fighter like Floyd can do against a cruiserweight or a heavyweight before the physical differences just make the fight totally unfair. If Floyd Mayweather in his prime fought the heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, the betting odds would probably be even more skewed against Floyd than they currently are against Logan. Even if Floyd were to be the better technical boxer and he were to outbox Anthony Joshua, he would still have no chance chance just because of the physical difference. And lastly, we cannot forget about the age difference between Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. Logan Paul is 26 years old and clearly in the best shape of his life. Floyd Mayweather is an actual grandfather at 44 years old. The last time he fought a professional boxer on his record was in August of 2015, and his last ever professional fight was against MMA fighter Conor McGregor in August of 2017. As boxers get older, they tend to lose foot speed and agility, which is critical in avoiding punches. They also experience an increased reaction time and slower hand speed. Floyd Mayweather's career was indeed legendary, but nobody denies that his prime is over. He is expected to be in a more deteriorated condition than in his last professional fight, which again was 4 years ago. Despite his older age, Floyd Mayweather chose to fight Logan Paul, who will weigh more than anyone he has ever fought, will be taller than anyone he has ever fought, and since momentum equals mass times velocity, might even be more powerful than anyone he has ever fought. If Logan Paul wins, people will undoubtedly say that this fight was unfair all along because of these physical advantages, which is exactly my point. Logan Paul will not outbox Floyd Mayweather, but he doesn't have to. The larger the physical differences between the two fighters, their power, their weight, their height, their reach, and their age, the less boxing ability Logan Paul needs in order to win. Floyd can conduct a technical masterclass in the ring and, say, land twice as many punches as Logan, but he could still lose just because of how physically different the two men are. So it really comes down to how good is Logan Paul. If it is true that Logan Paul's fight against KSI was his worst performance in months,
I'm definitely disappointed in myself and my performance and like the circumstances of, as much as we joke, I was sick as that day.
and Jake Paul gets beat up by his sparring partners,
Jake is a kid that gets beat up by my sparring partners. That's that kid.
and that he has been training 6 days a week, twice a day, against opponents of Floyd's stature, a training period which, by the way, was extended by several months because of the fight's delay. Logan might just be more skilled than what the betting odds give him credit for. Despite his mastery of the sport of boxing, Floyd Mayweather has to hope that Logan Paul does not know what he's doing. I'll put it this way. The king of the ants can only reign so long as an elephant does not cross its path. God, this is gonna age so badly. If I end up being wrong, you know what? I'm keeping this video up. Screw you. Logan Paul, if you're watching this, please go overthrow the king. It would be legendary and absolutely hilarious. I wish you the best.